As the WNBA turns, starring Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Asia Wilson, and other angry feminists. Brought to you by George Soros, Adam Silver, Kathy Engelbert, and the Global Elite.
All right, welcome back. Time for a little as the WNBA returns. Yesterday, the Indiana Fever knocked off the Chicago Sky by 15 points. Kelsey Mitchell scored 35 points and had a terrific game, really efficient, maybe 12 of 19 from the field, something like that. I think knocked down 7 3-pointers, was 6 assists. She was amazing. Yesterday, Kelsey Mitchell was. Obviously, no Caitlin Clark again. She probably won't return until the middle of August, late August, somewhere in there. The Fever are now, I believe, 14-12, 2 games above 500. They're finding a way without Caitlin Clark. And they're developing a style of play without Caitlin Clark that I believe is going to require Caitlin Clark to have to make an adjustment when she comes back rather than the team adjusting to Caitlin Clark. And it's important that I say this. There's a specific group of content creators that I want to speak to, and I want to speak to with respect. As someone who's way deep down in the Caitlin Clark rabbit hole and now way deep down in the WNBA and the Indiana Fever rabbit hole, I am a fan. It's at this point, Indiana Fever might be my favorite team in all of sports, and I know I'm getting killed for that. People send me not text messages, but they reach out to me over Twitter with posts, constantly complain about, man, we've lost Whitlock to the WNBA. And yes, you have. And you've lost me to all these content creators who I'm about to name, but I want to gently push some of you content creators in a more positive, healthy direction for Caitlin Clark's sake. Because you guys as a group are having an impact. And so I'm talking about Mick Talks Hoop. I believe it's Ock Nation or AK Nation, Ock Nation, John the Liquidator, Robin Lundberg, Rachel Demita, Adrian Ross, Rosalina Lee. There's some like 60-year-old, 65-year-old white woman, looks like someone's grandmother. She's got a YouTube page filled with her talking about Caitlin Clark. And she looks like a mom or a grandmom that just took a break from watching the kids or babysitting the grandkids. And let me sit down here and tell you about Caitlin Clark. And what I want to say to you guys are that, and I've instructed John Hadley, and maybe you guys can help me out. And I'm talking about Mick Talks Hoop, Ock Nation, John the Liquidator, Robin Lundberg, Rachel Demita, Adrian Ross, Rosalina Lee. I've left off, I think, the dude from Black and White Sports. But all of you guys, some of you I'd like to invite on the show to discuss Caitlin Clark and the WNBA with me from time to time on as the WNBA returns. But I also want to encourage you all to let's don't be this force that just explains, rationalizes, capes up for any and everything Caitlin Clark does. Let's don't become a Caitlin Clark cult. Let's continue to love and support Caitlin Clark with the truth, with things that will help her evolve and elevate. Because, and I get it, I understand how YouTube works, that any headline or any content that is remotely critical of Caitlin Clark is punished. You'll lose subscribers. You'll lose views. And so you're baited into being very supportive of Caitlin Clark while being hypercritical of Stephanie White, the head coach, Kelsey Mitchell, the best scorer on the team. And yes, I said that she's the best scorer on that Indiana Fever team. That's not a shot. She's not the best player, but Kelsey Mitchell is the best scorer on that Indiana Fever team, particularly the way that she is defended as opposed to Caitlin Clark. And they play two different positions. Kelsey Mitchell's playing the shooting guard. She is there just to score. Caitlin Clark has, when she comes back, has more responsibility. She plays point guard. She brings the ball up court. She distributes the ball to all the other players. She initiates the offense. So Kelsey Mitchell is the best scorer, and this could be a magical combination. This could be the WNBA's version of Steph and Clay. It could, to me, it's more Isaiah and Joe Dumars. This is championship caliber stuff between Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark. But I'm afraid there's so much noise being created by YouTube content creators that are constantly sending out the message that, oh, Stephanie White's an idiot. Kelsey Mitchell doesn't pass the ball. The black players on the team can't stand Caitlin Clark. You got to cut it out. And there's tiny kernels of truth in what you're saying. But the reality is we have seen enough over the last 2 years, because this streak that Kelsey Mitchell's on right now as a scorer, she's the leading scoring guard in the WNBA, averaging 20.2 points this year. She did this the entire second half of last year as well. There was a point during the second half of last year where I posted, stated, talked about on this show, like, hey, man, the second half of the season, Kelsey Mitchell's been every bit as valuable as Caitlin Clark. And that's a mouthful. Caitlin Clark is the best player on the Indiana Fever team and has a chance to be the best player in WNBA history. But she's got to play a proper role that allows them to win. And I saw something the other day from Ock Nation, or I think it was yesterday, AK Nation or Ock Nation. Well-intended guy. All of you guys are well-intended. I love you. I love your content. I want to engage with you on my show. I'm willing to come on your show. But everything that Caitlin Clark does isn't right. Caitlin Clark is struggling to play with other great players. And Kelsey Mitchell is a great player. Aaliyah Boston is a great player. Because of where Caitlin Clark played in college, Iowa, and not South Carolina or UConn or even Stanford, where she would be surrounded with other great players. She might be the best, but she's surrounded by other great players who can get a bucket. She's struggling to figure that out in the WNBA, that she doesn't have to dominate the ball, jack up three-pointers from 32 feet, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds into the shot clock. Caitlin Clark at 12, 13, 14 shots per game, while averaging 10, 11, 12 assists per game, moving without the basketball. Here's where Caitlin Clark and where the Indiana Fever, just quite frankly, this is an indisputable fact. They move the ball better when Caitlin Clark isn't on the court. Is Caitlin Clark the best distributor, passer in the league? Yes, she is. But she does it all herself. The ball has to be in her hands for her to create. They have more ball movement and player movement with her out of the lineup when they're doing it as a team. And her dynamic passing has now inspired Aaliyah Boston to be a great passer. Kelsey Mitchell, all of these players, Lexi Hall, these girls or women are into passing the ball. And so the ball's going to have to come out of Caitlin Clark's hands a little bit and trust her teammates and move without the ball herself. I saw somewhere Nation, I think yesterday, was talking about Aaliyah Boston sets better screens for Kelsey Mitchell than he does for Caitlin Clark. And I'm like, oh my God, stop it. Stop it, man. Aaliyah Boston goes and sets a screen for Kelsey Mitchell with the express purpose of, I'm setting this screen to get Kelsey Mitchell a shot. When she goes to set a screen for Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin's the point guard and they have this dynamic chemistry, she's going to set a slip screen. She's going to set a weak screen and then roll to the basket, and Caitlin Clark is going to toss her the basketball. That's the difference. Aaliyah Boston isn't out there, well, I'll set better screens for Kelsey Mitchell than I do for Caitlin because I hate Caitlin Clark. That is not true. Not true at all. Caitlin Clark has to evolve a little bit. Right now, she came into the WNBA with a bit of an Allen Iverson, I'm going to get mine, and I'm going to, if I don't get the bucket, I'm going to get the assist. I'm going to make the game so much easier for everybody else by the gravity that I create on the court. Now they need a little less of that. Just a little less. She's got to tweak her game if this team is going to reach its full potential. And you guys as content creators are going to have to figure out ways to gently push Caitlin Clark a healthy direction without sacrificing your audience. Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.